what if you also liked your job and you didn't feel the need to escape from your life so much by adding on all of these extra things? And if you're white knuckling through work, it's too dramatic to say it's really never going to be okay. Like you're never going to find a good balance or healthy fulfillment in life if 40 hours of your week, 40 plus hours of your week is something that you hate doing.
Welcome back to Answer the Call, a podcast where we help Christians discern their callings and practically land a job or start a business that's aligned with it. I'm Kelsey Kemp. I am joined with my favorite, Audrey Bagarus. And today we're going to talk about work-life balance. And this is something that as career coaches, when we get to meet new people that book a free consultation and are interested in working with us to get help through their career transitions, we have a lot of conversations with really good-hearted, amazing people. And we also have conversations with people that are very disillusioned about work and really just want a job that actually allows them to not have to work. And for that, I think that there's, how do we say, Audrey? Am I allowed to say there's some red flags there? I'm just going to come out ripping.
Yeah, I hear the word cushion too often.
Oh, cushion.
I want a cushiony job. I want a job that flexible is what I hear all the time, which I think there's a lot of good things there. Like we want to be able to have flexibility. That's what I'll say. Like, I don't want to dive into that too much.
Not work during the day, pretty much, and pretend that you're going to work at night? ? I'm just going to be so honest. I think that's the
negative side of it. I do think there's a positive side to flexibility because I think a lot of people are coming from an environment of like boss that does not trust you at all. Doesn't trust you at all. That it's okay to want something different than that. But flexibility, like you were saying, of people are a lot of times hinting at or just plainly saying, I want to do whatever I want when I want. Mm-hmm. And then, I might prompt them, oh, so do you want to have your own business? No. I want a job, corporate America. I want it to be cushy. I don't want to have to do too much, but I want to get paid a lot. Like these are actual phrases that I hear people share. And I think there's a reality check needed with a understanding heart.
With an understanding heart. I was going to come out so hard and say, even though we prayed before this and I asked God to give me a lot of gentleness, but I'm just going to be so for real. That gives me the ick so hard because I really do respect it so much when somebody says, I am a parent with multiple kids. My reality is having to go to appointments and whatnot. I would like either a part-time job or I would like one that is so flexible and doing only what I really, really want to do. And so therefore I'm going to take the responsibility of starting my own business. And that I'm like, I totally respect that because you're not trying to game anybody. Like you really will only be able to sell things to people that are valuable and helpful to them, and your business will only continue if you're doing a good job, to put it very, very simplistically. Generally speaking, I think that if there are any perspective changes that need to be worked out in you, the Lord is He will work on your heart through self-employment. He really will. And you'll get your reality checks, and you'll also be able to be afforded a bit more freedom than the exchange of having a stable salary at a company that you are accountable to having structure with and fulfilling certain responsibilities that you don't always have autonomy over. And so, I just want to say, I think there's a little bit of a difference. If you want flexibility, are you able and willing to take the trade-offs to get it? But I wanted to start with Philippians 2, which I feel goes straight to the heart. And by the way, in this episode, we will be talking about how to achieve more of a sense of work-life balance. But Audrey and I really felt called to first just give you a simple run through of how to submit your heart to the Lord and see if anything needs to be lifted up to Him for change. Before you try to exert change on others, like your employer and your coworkers and your customers, I think it is a beautiful thing to first see if there's something where you need to exert change on yourself and your
Yeah.
perspective. So, especially if I think Audrey, as we were preparing for this, said so many bangers. She was like, I know that you weren't the one to come up with this, but like, create a life that you don't want to escape from
Hmm.
is a goal. But there's also like, is your goal to completely disengage with work? Do you like hate work in general? Our Lord, God of the universe, created us for wholeness and joy, working within a model of 6 days of pouring ourselves out for others, while we receive our daily bread from Him and have an overflowing cup with the Lord. And especially on that seventh day, that's so important, where you get to do nothing but enjoy the splendor and abundance of God's creation. That reminds you that while I do nothing, God provides for me and He loves me doing nothing right here. And um, so I think just yeah, I think that we are going to speak to the people that maybe like me in my earlier career were in consulting, where I that model of work, at least for my team that I was on at a large firm, I had a full work day, and then maybe that would end at like 6 p.m. and then or 7, and then I would go home, quickly eat dinner, and then I would have another business call or a series of business meetings with an offshore team like in China or India, where we were communicating with our developers over there. So I would have another series of business meetings starting at 8 or 9 p.m. and sometimes going very late, and that was Sunday night through Thursday night, in addition to a Monday through Friday workload and some more preparation on Sunday. And so I was quite literally dying in that job.
Yeah.
I think that for the man or woman that is in that position, oh my goodness, I hope that you haven't already clicked out in these first 7 minutes and been like, are these girls just going to shame me? Are they going to shame me? Because like I, for real, have more work than is healthy. And that can, of course, be a reality for many people. I'm thinking of my friend Ariane. Oh my gosh, I love her so much. I just learned that she got a new job. And before that, she was burning the midnight oil and maybe even then some. I think it sounded like every day of the week, because she was at a big law firm after graduating from a top law school and everything. And, you know, she knew what she was signing up for, but that's not a job forever. I'm not going to tell her, like, hey, bend yourself into the shape of this job forevermore, because, like, maybe I need to catch up with her, but maybe she was relating with some of the burnout, probably even more so than what I was facing in my job. So I don't want to pretend that people don't have real jobs that steal their personal life and ability to rest. So we will be speaking practically to you if that is something that you're in. But for all the people that you're like, you know what, I'm already feeling a little convicted. Maybe I do need to change my heart if I do hate all work and feel allergic to it and wanted a company to just pay me to basically do nothing. I'm sure that's not what you're telling yourself, but to grossly oversimplify it, I want to read Philippians 2. Imitating Christ's humility is the header on this. Philippians chapter 2, starting in verse 1. Therefore, if you have any encouragement from being united with Christ, if any comfort from his love, if any common sharing in the Spirit, if any tenderness and compassion, then make my joy complete by being like minded, having the same love, being in one spirit and of one mind. Do nothing out of selfish ambition or vain conceit, And I really, that stood out to me when I was reading that this morning, of like, sometimes we sense that some people really do feel entitled to get paid to do, like, to share their opinion every once in a while with a company and not do actual in the weeds work. Um, and I would put that under the category of vain conceit. Like,
Mm-hmm.
wow, you're like really proud of your opinion, but like people actually just need work to get done, you know?
Mm-hmm. And
Um,
selfish ambition.
yeah, selfish ambition as well. Asking to kind of put a spin on the famous JFK quote, like asking, ask not what your country could do for you, but what you could do for your country. Like, are you constantly asking what your employer can do for you rather than what you could do for your employer and your customers? So let's continue on in verse 2. Rather, in humility, value others above yourselves, not looking to your own interests, but each of you to the interests of others. In your relationships with one another, have the same mindset as Christ Jesus, who being very in very nature God, did not consider equality with God something to be used to his own advantage. Rather, he made himself nothing by taking the very nature of a servant, being made in human likeness, and being found in appearance as a man. He humbled himself by becoming obedient to death, even death on a cross. Therefore, God exalted him to the highest place and gave him the name that is above every name, that at the name of Jesus every knee shall bow, in heaven and on earth and under the earth, and every tongue shall acknowledge that Jesus Christ is Lord, to the glory of God the Father. Therefore, dear friends, as you have always obeyed, not only in my presence, but much more in my absence, continue to work out your salvation with fear and trembling. For it is God who works in you to will and to act in order to fulfill his good purpose. God is working in you. Wow. That is so cool. Do everything without grumbling or arguing, so that you may become blameless and pure, children of God without fault in a warped and crooked generation. Then you will shine among them like stars in the sky as you hold firmly to the word of life. And then I will be able to boast on that day of Christ that I did not labor or run in vain. But even if I am being poured out like a drink offering on the sacrifice and service coming from your faith, I am glad and rejoice with you all. So you too should be glad and rejoice with me. Those were Paul's words. Wow. I think that there's a lot there. Don't do nothing out of selfish ambition or vain conceit. Don't grumble. And of course, if you just find it impossible to do your work without an internal grumble, I'm not going to shame you into thinking it's purely an attitude problem. Of course, we really do think that work is more like flowing with the river rather than against it. When you realize what part of the body God created you to be, and you play out work according to your design. You serve others with what you have to give, not what you don't have to give. And so I do think that work becomes so much easier to not grumble when you are working according to your design. And so I do think that it is a part of our responsibility and good stewardship to pick a job in which we are motivated to work hard. Part of that is design and being in the right job. And the lion's share of it, of course, is perspective, in realizing that Jesus, being very nature God, did not consider his equality with God something to be, wait, what did it say? To be used to his own advantage. Rather, he made himself nothing. And I remembered a point where I consistently still have tasks, by the grace of God, less and less as I shape my career in a direction I continually feel more and more called to serve in. But I still do, of course, in this fallen world, have tasks that I really deeply desire to avoid. And one time, God, I felt like razor sharp, just cut me in half with this word, which was, if I was obedient unto death on a cross, you could be obedient to send this email and just get those tasks done. And that is a perspective that I think will really help us work and feel good about. And I think you could take some pride in, like, yeah, I am a good steward of my work. I get my stuff done. I don't have a long laundry list of energy draining things that I know I'm avoiding. And so I think that could bring you more joy. But I do want to say, before we get into more tips of how, the last thing I'll say before we get into tips of how to exert appropriate boundaries with work and feel like there is more healthy separation between work and rest, because that will be appropriate for many of us. The last thing I'll say is just, if you're wondering, what should I do? Should I quit my job and find something new? Should I stay and just work on my attitude? The Lord will have an answer for you. Submit your heart to Jesus and just confess to Him in prayer right now everything that you are feeling about work, including, I'm scared you'll call me to stay when I really just want to go and live my dream life as a TikToker or whatever, which isn't inherently evil, whatever. He might be calling you to be a good steward over there. But you could say, I'm scared that you're going to tell me to stay. I'm scared that you'll tell me to leave. Whatever you're scared of, say everything that you're scared of and be honest with the Lord. And then just say, what do you want me to know about this? What do you want me to know about that? What do you want me to do? And I really do believe, even if you don't hear something in that moment, as you continue to pray it, He will work out His will and make it apparent as you live your life. He hears you and He is answering it and making revelation available to you on His timeline. That prayer is always worth praying, and I do believe you will receive an answer. So He'll tell you if you need to change your attitude or change your job, or both. Or even just like let go of some unhealthy things in your personal life that are actually causing you to have less energy for your professional life. That's probably another huge category. Audrey, you and I have both been through that, where it wasn't actually something we needed to change with our professional lives. It was personal. We were committing, we were saying yes to things we really meant no for. And that is lacks integrity. So
Yeah.
it isn't healthy. So let your yes be yes. Miss Audrey, do you have anything to say? I've been ranting.
I want to go back to the comment you had mentioned, the create a life that you don't want to escape from, and explain that more. But are we going to go over that in the tips that we have laid out? Or is that something that we should talk about now?
Pop off, queen. Go now.
Yes, create a life that you don't want to escape from. I don't know. This is like a little quote that I've seen on Pinterest or something. And I felt this in my own work life. I see it with my friends. I see it in people that I do consultations with. This idea that I just need to get through work, like white knuckle it through work, because this work allows me to have the life that I really want outside of work. And that is traveling a bunch or doing my cute workout classes and all of these things. I get to afford those things because I have this job. And even though I hate this job and it sucks the life out of me, at least I like my life outside of job. But what if? What if you also liked your job and you didn't feel the need to escape from your life so much by adding on all of these extra things? I really personally, something that a little check-in I do with myself is, what do I need to take away? Like when I feel like there's so much going on or something's off, there's a misalignment, a lot of times we start adding things on. Like, I need to do this, I need to go here, I need to book a trip, whatever it is. But I've actually found a lot of value in stripping things away and actually looking at the core of my life. Am I trying to escape from something? Am I actually doing fulfilling things? And one of the biggest conversations to have is work in that area. And if you're white knuckling through work, it's this is too dramatic to say it's really never going to be okay. Like you're never going to find a good balance or healthy fulfillment in life if 40
No.
hours of your week, 40 plus hours of your week is something that you hate doing.
No, we
And
work with people that are like 1 to 2 years out from retirement, and they're like, pretty much, I thought I would get over this, but I'm really never over this. And before my time at work is completely done, I still want to do something that I really feel called to do.
yeah.
And I love that. It's like, don't let that your light of your conscience die.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can't stamp it out forever.
Mm-hmm. It catches up with you.
Yeah.
And it caught up with me 3 years in a job I didn't like.
Mhm.
It catches
Yeah.
up with some people 30 years in a job they don't like, and lots of people somewhere in between there. And I actually found and this is a personal example, so take it with a grain of salt, but I found that when I transitioned into this job, Kelsey, it was immediately when I started full time. I was like, I don't want to travel anymore. I don't want to have the nomadic life. I want to go somewhere, settle, plant roots. And a month later, I moved to Charlotte. And
That is so healthy.
it's been the best decision ever.
Yeah.
And it's been such a weird identity shift and even like friendship shift as well. Cause I used to be the designated travel friend. Oh, I want to go on a trip. Let me call Audrey. I want to go stay somewhere for 2 weeks and work remotely. Let me call Audrey. And that has completely shifted to I'm hardly traveling at all these days.
Mhm.
But again, that's a personal example, but it's something that I really has drastically affected my life where now I'm not looking forward to the weekend trips. I'm not only looking forward to the weekend trips. I still like my weekend trips. I'm
Yeah.
going on one this weekend. But it's not something that I'm relying on because I
Exactly.
have the absolute privilege of doing something that I love doing, and that's really
Yeah.
fulfilling to me. And that was never going to change unless I changed how I spent the majority of my time, which is at work.
I will stand by this until the cows come home. Life gets less expensive when you
Yeah.
are working in a job that you like. Even if you take a huge pay cut, life will it's not like it gets less expensive because I don't have money now. It's like that, and you don't need a lot of the worldly things that you actually were trying to use to recharge yourself. And rather, you are recharged by your work because the very thing that the Lord created us to be recharged by is participating in redemption and seeing that our work is building his kingdom by customer service agents relieving people's frustrations, by farmers seeing daily proof that the Lord can make life come out of the ground, that we bring more beauty, order, and truth through financial institutions and wellness professions and all sorts of things, and art curators, all this. When you participate in redemption and building God's kingdom in the very particular way that you maybe have always been drawn to or now have stumbled upon and are like, oh, I finally feel like I'm getting it.
Mm-hmm.
Do it so that you can feel more recharged by work, that you want to keep on diving in and find increasingly better ways to serve people through it. Because and I will say that if you are not yet in that, please remember Matthew 25, the parable of the talents, starting in verse 14, that I'm not saying that we necessarily earn our dream jobs, but there is like a sense of being prepared for them by being faithful with the few things you have now in the job that you don't like. Remember that in the parable of these three servants, the ones that just got to work, and when they were entrusted with their master's wealth as the master went out on a long journey, they said, you know what? I think it would please him to come back to this multiplied by investing it in something that would return interest. And they just made a wise guess that that would please him. And they also realized that, hey, I'm employed by this master. Am I going to go on an eternal vacation while he's gone? No, I'm going to work because I'm getting paid to work. Conversely, the wicked and lazy servant was like, you know what? I'm going to just put this in the ground out of fear that he would do something wrong. But then also, he was called the wicked and lazy servant. It took something for the others to work to produce a return, and it took nothing for the wicked and lazy servant to just bury his bag of gold in the ground and say, I kept it safe. I didn't hurt anything, but I also didn't do anything. And the master said to the faithful servants, well done, good and faithful servant. You've been faithful with a few things, so I will put you in charge of many things. Come and share in your master's happiness. And I don't want you to hear this just as working harder from your own strength, but draw upon the Lord and say, I need you to help me finish these tasks. I need you to change my heart so I want to work rather than scroll on my phone. I need you to change my mind, my habits, my character. He is so willing to do that. That is completely in alignment with his will, so it will be done.
Mm-hmm.
Asking God to change your heart is like the most powerful prayer I think I've ever prayed, like theme of prayer.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm so, so grateful that he helps us change because
Yeah.
we're minimally powerful to change ourselves, I think.
Yeah, I heard it put once, before you try and change your circumstances, try and change your heart.
Boom. Boom, baby. So now let's get into some actual tips.
Practical steps.
Practical steps. I got 5 for you. So the first one is get rid of things that are, when you want to achieve more work-life balance, you may be inclined to first try to change things at work, tell people no, ask ChatGPT to write some hard emails for you to decline picking up new projects and all of that. And rather, I would say, let's make step 1. Well, actually, step 0 is what I said at the top of the hour, which is ask God, confess to him everything that you're feeling about work and your life, and ask him what he wants you to know about that. That's the foundation always to any change in any day of your life. And then the second thing, which, well, I'll phrase this as if that was step 0, step 1 is get rid of things that are draining your energy in your personal life and robbing your Sabbath. Be faithful to the Sabbath, which isn't a day now that Christ has fulfilled the law. We now see everything as a heart posture. So, how do you, at least once a week, have a full, I think it is helpful if we have it as a day, have a posture of Sabbath. I think that John Mark Comer has written and recorded a lot of really helpful things that show Christians that Sabbath is like honestly one big enjoyable party of resting in the Lord and doing things that you enjoy, and taking opportunity to deeply enjoy everything that he's given you and in your life and just in creation through common grace. And so it's not doing nothing or only doing church activities. It's actually like really not restricting yourself, it's liberating yourself. And I think that is so fun when you realize that Sabbath is like truly such a gift. And so, like, thoughtfully design it, look forward to it, romanticize it, devote it, like, enjoy all things with the Lord and the Lord in all things.
How do you Sabbath? What's your Sabbath look like these days?
Oh, girl, I'm just at my sewing machine. I'm just at my sewing machine. And then I'll cook something. I like cooking. And then I'll watch some YouTube videos. I like YouTube. And I'll go to Pilates.
Love that.
Yeah. And then maybe I'll have some lizard time. That's what Kevin and I call just going out and being in the sun in the park next to our house. Because you know how lizards just like sit on a rock to warm themselves? Yeah, we just go, we're lizards.
Oh wow. That's my favorite. Love
What do
that.
you do?
I like to, if I'm dedicating a day, it's going to be Sunday. I go to 11 a.m. service because I love myself. Um, and that gives me a morning. I get to just have my coffee,
Wow.
slow, get ready, I call it. And then if it's not too hot, I like to walk to church, which is such a cool aspect of living in a city. Just a short 15-minute walk.
Wow. That's such a
And
vibe.
I know. And then afterwards, I do try and either get coffee with someone or lunch with somebody. That was a New Year's resolution of mine this year, to break bread every week after church.
Mm.
Turns out the budget might not allow for every single week, or not might. It does not allow for every single week. But just hanging out with people, a little fellowship moment. And then I do genuinely love my Sunday reset, but something that I've been doing recently, Sunday reset to set up for the week. I have been not doing it until 4 o'clock. I'm like, okay, from 4 o'clock is when I start thinking about that. So I really give myself time to just chill, not think about the week. And then also I'm not spending the whole day Sunday resetting, because I feel like some people do that.
It's easy to do.
It's easy to do to
Probably if you have little critters, like,
yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
children.
this is big, like
Yeah,
unmarried
listen,
energy, no
we don't
kids.
have children yet, so
Please.
feel free to discount what I'm saying.
Yeah, absolutely. And then I do like to read my book. Um, and read my book with like no time or phone near me, and just read until I'm done reading.
That's so cute.
Yeah. And something that's been really helping me recently too, just on all days, is phone down at 9 o'clock. No more screens. Oh my gosh, my sleep is a million times better. I know we all know this, right? We all know it.
No, you slay me with that one, because I've been meaning to do it and I haven't. I show Kevin my meme harvest of the day before we go to sleep.
Yeah.
And because I just want to show him all the things that I think he needs to laugh at. But,
Do you do that on your phone? Or my favorite phone activity is airplaying my phone to the TV with
oh,
people around, and then I show them like the things that I want to show them.
that's so legit. No, I make him stare at my tiny blue light screen.
Yeah.
I need to fix it. Okay. Well, I to wrap this up of step one, I just think that if you are mindful, you will already know the things that you wish to let go of in your life. Certain, perhaps, I don't want to be toxic about this. I trust that people know our hearts, but certain friendships or relationships, communities, maybe you need to invest differently. Yeah, it could be a whole host of things, to including your nutrition and health habits and whatnot, that you need to dial in to make sure that you're restored in your personal life and actually finding rest there, so that you could devote yourself to your work life, because that's what you have signed a contract to do. Um, then I would say step two is, and this is step three, is apply boundaries to others at work if that's appropriate. But step two, again, we're not going to changing or inconveniencing others until as late as possible. I do think that a lot of work life balance is personal leadership, not just like managing up or exerting boundaries on other people. That kind of gives me the ick in our culture. Like, one of my sister's roommates was like, do not text me. The only time that you could text me is between 5 and 10 p.m. Monday through Friday. And
What?
Kirsten was like, I will not be doing that. Please grow up.
Yeah,
Like,
you're welcome to not respond until your
yeah.
texting window,
Good
but
Lord. And you've had some people say that to you too, like, isn't it so annoying that your clients email you at 9 p.m.? And you're like, no, I loved that email. And if it's like something that I need to take action on, then of course I'll respond tomorrow. But I'm not going to tell people, like, are they not supposed to email me when they
they're free.
need to do it?
Yeah.
And that includes bosses that people complain about, like sending an email at 2 a.m. Let them.
Mhm.
Let them. Stop trying to control them.
Mhm.
You don't know everything about their life, but just like you can do what you think is healthy. I maybe if there's not a call to action of respond to this immediately, then don't respond during reasonable business hours,
Mm-hmm.
unless it is something that, you are in a emergency oriented job. But I trust that you'll understand caveats there.
Yeah. And also, just add on to that, you, uh, how do I say this? I think your boss will respect when you respect yourself
Mhm.
and respect your boundaries. When they're emailing you to him, unless it's the emergency situation, it's just because that's when they need to be working. Like you said, you don't know their life. Doesn't mean that they're expecting a response at that time. And if you respect your boundaries, your personal boundaries putting on yourself, a lot of times other people will fall into
Mhm.
that as well.
Train them for what to expect from you, but don't make it
Mhm.
lame. Okay, like I respond
Don't
to
be
emails
lame.
whenever I want, like 4 days later. A players respond within 24 hours.
Yeah, and doing it right away when you log on too. Oh my gosh, I've
Get it
heard
done.
I've heard some productivity things of like don't let others determine how your day is going to be by logging onto your email first. I think that's applied by, or the best way to apply that is don't look at your email when you first wake up.
Oh, I do that.
Boop.
It wakes me up. Otherwise, I'll stay in bed. I need a little jolt, you know?
You do what you gotta do, sister.
I don't
Oh,
hate it. I like it. I do it because I
yeah,
want to.
there you go. Personal boundary. Me could never be what I'm doing because I
Yeah,
need
no.
to set my day, like it on my terms. And then, but right when I log on, my best productivity days are when I'm responding to emails right away when I log on, or putting that into my to-do list. Like, okay, if it's a longer response email,
Mhm.
I need to figure out
Mhm.
the response to this. But all of that to say, actually, I don't know where I was going with that, but those are my thoughts.
Slay. So, just before we move on to step 3, step 0 is pray the prayer I said. Step 1 is fix your personal life. Step 2 is increase your personal performance at work by being more efficient and effective with the hours that you are working. For this, I really think that it's time to learn some systems.
Yeah.
And systems, I will say, when you are buried in chaos because you have not been implementing systems, they often will take a Saturday to implement where you're not in the work, you get to work on your work
Mhm.
and you're not on the clock. And I just think that's okay. Like, can you spend a Saturday to liberate and reset and give yourself an ability to actually flourish and get ahead of your work and control it rather than it controlling you? Systems, people. Number one, there's a lot of like ways that you could use AI. There's a lot of email inbox management systems that I think that I welcome you to look into. Productivity experts abound. And also, in terms of managing your time, you know that I will always recommend that you read Redeeming Your Time by Jordan Rayner. It teaches you not only generally how to be more effective with your time, but let your yes be yes by really um, controlling what you say yes to, and then also tracking that as a commitment that you will complete in an organized online task tracker. And the way that he's taught me to do that has been life changing. Love you, Jordan. I'm so cringe. Um, I have to mention him every episode. And it's written from a Christian perspective. So it's gospel centered, not hustle centered, which I really, really appreciate.
Mhm.
So now, after you have increased your personal effectiveness with work, which includes setting, I will also say, don't keep your email inbox open all the time, or if this is appropriate for your work. Of course, if you're a customer service representative, it might be your job to stare at your inbox all day long. But generally speaking, if you have a mix of communications plus meetings plus your own solo work, then I segment that into deep work blocks. 90-minute blocks are typically most effective, and then shallow work blocks with intervals of checking email and responding and clearing your inbox, like maybe 3 to 4 times a day, not having it open constantly or having your phone next to you, again, if that's appropriate, and being constantly distracted. There's a lot to be said about task switching. There's a lot to be said about writing ineffective emails that don't force someone to a binary answer, but rather create a long trail of communication. If you are not actually reading emails, if you have a ton of typos, if you're not clear with what you mean, oh my gosh, of course you're creating a nightmare at work. So, yeah, make sure that you're increasing your personal effectiveness at work. Then you will be able to see clearly what in step 3 you need to apply as boundaries to others. Maybe as you get more effective, you're like, hey, I really do think that like you want to check in with your boss. Am I meeting expectations? Is there anything else that you want me to work on? How are you feeling about my performance? Are you feeling supported? Do you feel like I'm really fulfilling my role well? Great. Then can I ask a few things that I think can make me even more effective? Is it okay with you if I check and clear my inbox at these 3 or 4 intervals during the day? Or are you truly expecting me to respond like within 7 minutes or something as things pop up? Can we set an effective communication structure? You and I did this, Audrey. You told me, please stop texting me. Can you please, like, let's get Slack. So we do email for certain things, Google Docs for certain things, Slack for certain things, and escalation to text, because you actually receive notifications on your laptop, I think, for that. And that's if it's like, hey, I'm running late or something more like I need you to see that right away. But otherwise, I rarely use that because you're focusing on your client work. And once we set that hierarchy and you communicated that to me,
Yeah.
that was a boundary that was actually just an effective system. I don't
Yeah.
even like to say it's a boundary. It's just an effective system.
Yeah, I didn't even think about it as an example until you started talking about this point, and I had the same thought. Like, oh
Mhm.
yeah, because when I would get a text, it always felt urgent when you would just be texting me something that I needed to know, but it wasn't urgent. And now
Yeah,
that we've
not at all.
established that, you're like, look, this meme.
Yeah. I felt dumb when you texted me that. I was like, of course. And my role as a manager is like, I want the feedback to see
Mhm.
what I was ignorantly doing wrong. I want that. I want the most uh, from the team, and that requires y'all to tell me the definition of giving my best to you.
Mhm.
And so I just think that there's a clear trade there. And then you can also say, after you've developed trust and they could see that the systems and the structure that you're asking them to cooperate with maybe is working really well, then you can move on to bigger asks like, do you really need me on that meeting, or can we use this AI summary tool, and can I get a little bit more time back so I could perform better in this other aspect, or I could get X number more things done that you need of me. Can I, uh, you know, that I'm attentive and I have my commitment tracking system and I'll get this done. Is it all right with you if every other week I work a like from home on Friday or something like that? Ask what you need, but not before you contribute, I would say.
Mhm. Yeah, absolutely. Contribute, like, so it's obvious in the work you do, but I also have found, I feel like I've done this with you some, but I did it in my corporate job a lot of where I just clued my manager in, like, this is the system I'm using to track what I'm doing.
Mhm.
And it mostly was just because I liked the system I used and I was proud of it, so I wanted to show it to them. It then led me to teaching the team how to use the system and stuff like
Queen.
that. But it I think it built so much trust between my managers and me because I wasn't just telling them, "Oh, I've got a system." I
Mhm.
was showing them the system, and that goes with your work as well. Don't tell them
Mhm.
you will work harder, just work harder and they'll see that.
Exactly. Give them a reason to trust you before
Mhm.
you ask them to trust you, I think.
Yeah.
I've seen that with another example that I've witnessed in my personal life of someone that she was in a role that people weren't understanding the value of, and uh, kind of had a attitude of like, hey, well, like, just trust me. I wish that the people up top would just trust me. Just trust me. Look, I'm doing stuff. I'm doing stuff. But really, if you have to ask, just trust me,
Mhm.
you likely have not done the work to give them tangible reasons to trust.
Mhm.
So, um, got let go.
Yeah.
And I think that was just something that really made me, as I was reflecting on that, just evaluate like, okay, yeah, am I asking for people to trust my thoughts, my method, my instructions, my time before I'm earning that trust?
Mm. It's like with our clients.
Yeah, give them proof to trust it. Like that's why we post all these testimonials on here and success stories, is because we don't want you to just take our word for it. That would be unwise, but rather to see the fruit. Like a tree is judged by its fruit. It is. And
Yeah.
that's in the Bible. Go
Yeah.
look it up. So,
Please judge us by our fruit. Go listen to those episodes.
and Lord, be merciful to us and please help us to continually be better for your service. Because
Amen.
that's scary. I'm not saying I feel, perfect, but we're just trying.
Mhm.
And step 4, after you have applied conversational boundaries to others and communicated those, then step 4 is apply more boundaries in your personal life, like the bigger ones, like in terms of vacation blocking. I really, really, really do think that it is so sad that a lot of people in the US don't even take the full time that they have, which is less than in other countries. And I really encourage you that if it's difficult with your manager or scary for you to say, have a few conversations a year where you're like, hey, can I take this time off? Can I take this time off? Can I take this time off? Because I get scared like telling clients, hey, we'll be out these days and these days, or usually we're not both out at the same time. So their service is not interrupted, but our 2-week Christmas, New Year time off is something, and that is right near Thanksgiving as well. I get a little antsy over the holidays every time that I wonder, like, okay, do people feel supported enough? And are we allowed to take this time? LOL, allowed. But like, really, we are at their service.
Mhm.
So I do actually think that wording is appropriate. And I have found I have personally found it easier if I just rip off the Band-Aid all at once.
Yeah.
And so if you're just like, hey, here are the block dates for the entire fall of when we'll be out, and we'll put it in our email signature and we'll post it in our community and continually remind, like, hey, remember, like, we already said this, we already said this. But if you communicate all of them at once, including like this year was the very first year that Kevin and I tried to do all of our time off planning at the very beginning of the year. And so we could see, like, do especially if you ever feel like you vaguely have this sense that you don't take enough vacation. I was convicted of that once I saw all the Monday holidays, all the Friday opportunities I would be able to take for like a long weekend starting on a Friday,
Mhm.
as well as a family trip and other obligations that we had. I was like, oh, no, no, no. It kind of adds up to like between 4 to 6 weeks every year. And that then I was able to rest knowing that I kind of had my own back before I even started working for the
Mhm.
year.
I like
And
to
I
think,
planned it out. I also wanted to pace it out per quarter because I think it is a good
yeah.
goal to try to spend a week off per quarter. More of it ends up being weighted towards the fall. But yeah, no.
Yeah, I like to think that I taught you the Monday holidays. I'm like,
You
hey,
did.
buddy, Martin Luther King Day, I'm out.
You 100% did. Before meeting you, y-
You didn't even take Labor Day off or
no,
Memorial Day.
no, because I would just forget. And I
Yeah.
would, it would be too late that I was like, I'm not going to cancel my meetings.
Yeah. I'll never forget a
Now I
holiday.
block them out
Mhm.
before anybody even gets there. I get there first.
Yeah, you also, I remember once you asked me to remind you of the obscure holidays. I'm like, none of them are obscure in my mind. And I think what helps me is that at my last company, we had all the federal holidays off. So and that was just a blanket rule, which a lot of companies don't even have that. So I memorized those federal holidays. And like I
Memorizing.
mentioned earlier in this episode, I was in my traveling era. So I was like, okay, how can I maximize this time? And I was doing all the math. I had a spreadsheet. So now we take holidays.
People perish for lack of vision. Plan your vacations. Which I think I could even get better at that. And this has been like the year of the fast, not the year of the feast. And so vacationing has literally been like one necessary ticket to to a family event, or which ended up being so fun, or renting a $30 a night camping spot and sleeping in the snow. LOL. I don't feel bad for myself. I had so much fun. But still, like, how can you proactively make the most of it? And then just ask your boss at the beginning of the year, hey, do these sound good to you? Snag those vacation spots first. Early bird gets the worm. All right. Step 5. Hopefully, you have created a sense of peace, space, and margin in your mind and structure in your schedule. Now, I think that from that margin, you could do more future planning. Of course, stay humble with this. I have been saying Lord willing as if I have Tourette's. Like, honestly, I just like Lord willing. Like, after every, I'm so sorry if that was offensive, but I say it all the time because this year has really taught me. I'll go to that, Lord willing. I'll do that, Lord willing. I was so arrogant about my plans before. So approach this with a soft heart that's prayerful. But as I think that it's also good with the Lord to just admit the things that you're hoping for in your future.
Mm-hmm.
I think that you're allowed to just dream.
Mm-hmm.
You're allowed to dream. The Lord is more powerful than your dreaming, okay? So
And dreaming is not the same as fixating. Fixating on
yeah,
a vision that has to come true or else
yeah,
we perish.
yeah. My small group with church was talking about it this week. It's like our desires are going to find a way to get fulfilled in one way or another, in a way that glorifies the Lord or is degenerate. And so I do think that it's just in intimacy with God. Honesty is a leading indicator of your intimacy with God. So just like sit down and map out what really is, especially if you've already done all the character work that we've talked about toward the beginning of the episode. If you've been faithful with little, you could be trusted with much. Say what you really want your work and your personal life to be like, and then say, God, what do you want me to know about that?
Mm-hmm.
What do you want? What are your dreams? Make them happen. I submit and I sacrifice all of these to you. I sacrifice them like Isaac to you, but you know my heart now. I give you these desires and I place them in your hands for safekeeping. Surprise me later if you want, but I just want to let you know that this is what I want.
Mm.
And I mean, I'm God's girl. So, you know,
So he's got you.
I enjoy praying like that, but and then see what happens. And do what you can. Like a lot of that is just potentially not going to be evil. Do maybe it's just neutral or fine. Like, can you just go for it?
Mm.
Can you start making moves to create that life? And that's what I've got. Any
Yeah.
last words, Audrey?
And read The Sacredness of Secular Work by Jordan Rayner.
Thank you so much. Yeah, the dream life, as you are picturing your dream life, includes work. Retirement
Yeah.
isn't a thing in the Bible. Good Lord. I feel that so deeply.
Yeah.
Um,
And what you commit to now doesn't mean that's the same work you're going to be doing when you're 55 or 60 or 70. It's work looks different in different seasons. So dream, but also let go of dreams. I feel that really deeply with Just a lot of times we create this vision and then we see, or maybe I'm alone in this, but I create this vision and then feel like a failure if I don't fulfill it. It's like, oh, my dreams are just changing.
They're just
Dreams are just
changing.
changing, and I want to flow with those changes.
Just flowing. I wonder what this podcast would be like if a dude were on it. I think we give fairly girly advice.
Yeah. And
but I love it. I mean,
yeah.
am I supposed to give dude advice? No.
No. I know. I'm
Uh-uh.
thinking of like ultra productivity, ambition.
No. No, don't get it twisted. I read Redeeming Your Time and then I do it my way.
My girly way.
Yeah. Listen, I'm not trying to nuke my eggs and fertility. I'm not trying to get like super stressed. He's not advocating for that, but yeah.
Go listen to our episode about, what was the episode we did for women?
Cycle.
Ladies, listen to this this is why your motivation might vary or something like that.
This is your motivation fluctuates and it's normal.
And for men who want to understand their women. Yeah, go listen to that.
I promise our dude clients do like working with us.
We've had so many of them recently. We've been getting those male numbers up, and
the man numbers are up.
So don't be afraid to talk to us.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a wrap.
I think that's all we got.
Go to thecalledcareer.com to schedule your free consultation this week where we could talk through what's going on in your life. How did this episode resonate with you? What do you feel like it means you need to change about your work? Do you need to change jobs? Maybe not. Do you need help evaluating? That's what we're here for. It's for free. See you soon. Bye, Audrey.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to today's episode. To get an even more meaningful head start into your calling, head to thecalledcareer.com, where my fellow career coach Audrey and I have created a whole suite of free resources and tools to help you get clear and get a job today. For those who are definitely ready to land a job or start a business in the next 6 to 12 months, we're here to help you biblically and practically discern your calling through coaching, reflection, and deep market research. Identify the job that's aligned with it, even if you currently have no idea what you want. Rebrand your resume and LinkedIn to translate your background to appeal to your future boss. P.S. We take this off your plate and do this for you. Also, we'll teach you how to land referrals and get attention from leadership through networking. Again, if that makes you nervous, we have these emails and LinkedIn messages literally written for you so you don't have to sweat. We're also here to give you unlimited interview practice so you're prepared to address every elephant in the room and knock selling yourself out of the park. Then we'll round out with helping you negotiate your salary so you land thousands more. Just so you know, recent clients have gotten $8,000 to $50,000 salary increases, even though they were totally non-traditional candidates. That's because we specialize in helping non-traditional career pivoters land jobs they're ecstatic to serve in. It takes work, but we're here to see you through until the end, when we're celebrating that day that you send me an email in all caps and you say, Kelsey, I got the job. Then you could be on the podcast. But I'll be here until then, keeping you accountable and encouraged by meeting with you literally until you land the job you want, even if that's up to 6 months from now within our program. Apply to join at thecalledcareer.com, and I'll see you next week here at Answer the Call. Bye for now.